Bucs and the Saints. Now, this one, you want to talk about a disgusting, gross game. It's because we have no idea who's going to be out on the field for either one of these teams. This injury report for both of these guys is absolutely atrocious. As we sit right now, the Bucs are 2.5-point road favorites over the Saints. 44.5 is your total. Adam, I'll go to you here. Look, I have the Saints in a teaser leg that I made earlier in the week because I thought, hey, this is going to be an absolutely awesome play. We knew at the very least that Chris Godwin was very unlikely to go for the Bucs. Now, he is not going to go this week, but now they've got about 10 other guys on the injury report. Now, the Saints have about 10 other guys on the injury report, and so I don't love the teaser. I don't hate it at this point. I'm fine that it's in my account, but I just assumed I was getting the much healthier team at home and getting to take them up to 8.5 points, in which case I will love that all day long in a game of the 44 total. And then it comes out that Alvin Kamara might not go, and now the offensive lineman's questionable, and this guy's questionable. So I don't know. It's tough on a Friday morning where we don't have the official injury reports to really give the full thoughts here. But what do you look at here with the Bucs and Saints?
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt, that I think the 8.5 teaser leg is very attractive on New Orleans. And I still actually think it, even despite the injury situation on the New Orleans side, because I think this is way more about Tampa Bay than it is about New Orleans. We kind of know what the Jameis Winston Saints will be, right? I think what you saw in the fourth quarter in Atlanta last week is more representative than what you saw in the first three quarters. And it goes back to what we've discussed, which is that with so few preseason snaps for first string offensive players together, you kind of saw last week as a feeling out process, right? We heard a lot about sharp guys playing unders last week, and a lot of that ended up playing out. So I'm not worried about the team that couldn't get moving against the Falcons early on. What I am worried about on the Bucs side is who's going to be around to catch passes. What I am worried about on the Bucs side as well is against a Dallas defense that was sort of Micah Parsons and nothing else, they couldn't finish drives. And so ultimately, you end up with 19 points in a game against the Cowboys in which the Cowboys couldn't sustain anything offensively. I think you have legitimate questions about what Tampa Bay's offense is going to be able to do against the Saints defense that we know is one of the best in the NFL. So don't listen to the noise that you're going to hear this week about the Saints own the Bucs and what it's been in the regular season, this and that, right? Like, it's different bodies in different uniforms. That's not the kind of noise that you want in your head. I think what you do want is that if the total is as low as it is, the teaser leg's out to 8.5. I think that's your play.
Steven, we take a look, and the reason Adam mentions like who's going to catch the ball, and again, this is maybe the most important injury report of the week for any of the games, because this is all from Thursday. Russell Gage, who was unable to play last week due to injury, was limited. Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans, all DNPs on Thursday for this Bucs squad. So it is very tough. Tackle Tristan Wirfs, limited participant as well. We already know the offensive line was banged up. Donovan Smith, another tackle, was a DNP for them. Leonard Fournette, out of nowhere, was a limited participant in practice. And so it is just one of those deals where this is the walking wounded already here in week 2 for this Bucs team, that even if some of these guys do play, we know that the injuries were bad enough for them to be DNPs on Thursday. So how effective will they actually be? And what is the level of re-injury concern we have with those guys? So it's tough for me to find a solid reason to back Tampa, knowing what we know heading into the game.
For sure. At the start of the week, this was a smash spot for me on New Orleans, but then Alvin Kamara pops up on the injury report. He's dealing with bruised ribs. It's great having an injury.
Cam Jordan was limited, who obviously on that defensive line we think is a big mismatch for them. I mean, like it's not only Kamara, right? It's Jameis even was a limited participant. We know he's going to play, but he's dealing with some sort of something. So it's just both of these key players on both teams.
For sure. I think, though, at this juncture, as we record on Friday morning, I am more concerned about the Bucs injury situation, in particular, the tackles being not at 100%, because we already felt that the interior offensive line was taking a step back with some replacements and backups coming into the season. Now you have the tackles that are not at 100%. Against a Saints defensive front that, yes, they got run on a little bit with a mobile quarterback last week, but now they face a 45-year-old statue back there who And if they want to run the ball, which Todd Bowles has emphasized, the Bucs shifted from the number 1 team last year in pass rate to bottom 6 in week 1. And that I don't think was necessarily totally because of the game script. I think Todd Bowles has talked about wanting to be more balanced. And the Saints were the number 1 rush D last year in terms of both rush EPA and success rate. So I think there's a lot of reasons to like the matchup here for the Saints. I think that we've seen it in past regular season matchups between these teams. Marcus Lattimore has been up and down in his career, but he's always been very good covering Mike Evans. I still am very comfortable with the Saints as a plus 8.5 teaser leg here. Mostly because Jameis Winston impressed me week 1. He was top 3 in completion percentage over expectation, putting the ball on point in some tight windows. And we've talked about coming into the season that we felt like these two teams were a little mispriced in the market, maybe too much credit for the Bucs, not enough credit for the Saints. I think this is a good spot to take advantage of that in a teaser leg.
Adam, real quick, 44.5 on this total. We got a mash unit on the offensive line for the Bucs. I mean, the only guy that graded out well last week, Tristan Wirfs, is the guy who's on the injury report for them. Everybody else was complete garbage. You saw Brady having to do the self-sacks. He was having to get rid of the ball at the fastest rate that he's had to in a couple of seasons as well, just to be able to get the ball out. And then if we are dealing with a Kamara injury, maybe there's something kind of nagging Jameis as well. This is not going to be the under show or anything like that. But again, I 44.5 to me, we know 44 from a total perspective is at least a semi-key number. The under for me seems like the play in this one as well, because I don't know how effective either one of these offenses is really going to be.
The only thing I would keep in mind if you're going to play the under is that I think the market has already priced it to some degree when you look at what the total in a Bucs game would normally be, especially a Bucs game inside without weather concerns for Tom Brady. I'm with you, though. I would not be drawn in by seeing 44 and say, 44 with their ability to throw the ball, I'm playing that over.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, this is not last year's Bucs team. This is Bruce Arians is not in charge of this team anymore. I don't think they're going to be at the top of the league in pass rate anymore.